Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I have killed at least 1,000 chompies. Now, where are all my hats? I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. If you're new around here, hello. We're a podcast that talks almost entirely about old school RuneScape. I say almost entirely because we tend to get off track more than once throughout every episode, as I'm sure we will this week as well, talking about IRL things, like my broken mouse, for example. It's kind of RuneScape related because I have a hard time playing, but I digress. Welcome. We're glad to have you. If you're not new around here, I almost broke my mouse even more during Theater of Blood because I couldn't click. The left mouse button just didn't work. So we're having a week with the clicks. But how's your week? Speaking of weeks, how are you? How's your week been, Michael? What are you up to?
I am up to nothing. No,
Wow.
It's like in RuneScape, I have a serb task, which I tell you what, it has been quite the journey getting this Hellhounds task, because there was a bingo called Springo, and I unblocked Hellhounds during Springo. And mind you, I was going for 99 Slayer during that time. I unblocked Hellhounds. I can't tell you the last time I had a Hellhounds task to actually go and do Cerberus. Now, is this me just being dumb and forgetting and being like, ooh, Hellhounds, I'm not doing that, and like not having the drive to kill Cerberus? Maybe. But I spent like at least 500 Slayer points skipping tasks and doing tasks to get a Hellhounds task from Duradel, just so I could get ranked at Cerberus. Finally got it. I have 84 KC, 2 Eternal Crystals on the log. So Cerberus is actually kind of chill. I still am I'm profiting still, just because I've gotten those 2 Eternal Crystals. But like I've probably spent well over 1 million GP on deaths, because I mean, Cerberus isn't hard.
It's just 2 deaths for that.
It can be no.
It's just 500k for you to get your stuff back.
No. I'm bringing cheap stuff like Blessed Hide. A death is like 100k.
Oh no!
When I bring my crystal death, a death is like 300k, I think. So.
Oh, are you T-bowing it?
I'm T-bowing it, yeah. So like the T-bow stays with me, so I don't have to, nothing's gonna make me pay 500k for my T-bow back, but not my T-bow, by the way. Anyway, I did about, 30 or 40 kills with the T-bow. I would give it, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it at least a 6. The only reason being is if you don't want to like drain your prayer and use prayer pots out the wazoo, you have to bring a spectral switch, which is just annoying because half the time I forget to use it. So I did a number of kills with the T-bow, and then I've also switched it up and used melee with Arclight, and I would give that like a slightly better score, maybe a 7 out of 10, because at least you can just wear the spectral the whole time. So I finally got the ghost switch, like the ghost prayers down. Almost never die to that, except when I do, and I lose 300k. Because sometimes you're distracted watching somebody do something on Discord, and you look away, and then suddenly you're off tick, and you get hit for a 90. So it's not a good time.
It's fucking annoying.
But I'm contemplating whether or not I want to finish the task, because I think right now I have like 80 left, and I'm at 84 KC. So I would just have to do what I did one more time, because I think I started this whole grind with like 5 KC. So that's me. Other than like stuff in RuneScape, I say this every week, it feels like, but I'm feeling still kind of sick, but not as sick as I was last Sunday. Last Sunday sucked. Like I called out of work on Tuesday.
Wow.
And I almost know. I mean, I work from home. Like I don't call out of work. I'm just at home sitting on my desk. Like it was pretty bad. If you are hearing this, Tiki in the recording booth did say it's not Sunday. No, it's not. We're recording this episode a little bit early, and it's gonna be a bit, I don't know, like there won't be many answers on if we end up like reading the community questions, just because that that got posted. What's today? Friday? That got posted yesterday. So anyway, I'm feeling okay. I'm taking like Mucinex and stuff. That seems to be helping, but yeah, it's not fun. I think I should have gone to the doctor just to see, like, I suspect it's a sinus infection, but it's a little late for that, isn't it?
I mean, still can go to the doctor.
You think I should?
You could.
Yeah, I could actually. Yep. Anyway, that's me. I'm very curious about this mouse thing because, like, for all the listeners out there behind the scenes, I haven't talked to Oxie for what feels like 2 weeks.
It has been quite a long time, yeah.
So this will be a reunion for us.
So yeah,
live on the show.
Xpwaste reunion tour, yeah. Michael hasn't talked to me. Are we transitioning to my week now, or are we?
Yeah. How was your week?
I was gonna take it anyway, but my week's been pretty good. I was gone last week because I was in Chicago. My sister got tickets to go see an artist named Maggie Rogers. She's an indie pop singer. And I knew a few of her songs, kind of. She's so fucking good live. She dances like my grandmother. Like, you can tell she has a sense of rhythm, but she only ever learned one dance move, which is kind of like put your hands back and like put your leg behind the other. Like, it's more or less the same move. So, like, she tries to make it sexy and will like change up the cadence, but it's the only dance move she knows, 100%. But she's got such natural talent and a good stage show. Yeah, pretty much what Michael's doing. And my grandma used to dance the exact same way. So 10 out of 10 would go see Maggie Rogers. And we saw her at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago with the, it was all general admission. It was a super cool venue if you've never been, or if you have been, you know how awesome it is. Then the next day we saw Sue. So my fucking lifelong thing as a kid was wanting to go to Chicago to the Field Museum to see Sue. And I finally got to see Sue at 26. We spent 2.5 hours in the dinosaur area, 45 minutes of which was at Sue. Doesn't sound like a long period of time. Sue is the only thing in that room. It's just a T-Rex with some info panels. So I read every single fucking infograph they had. I took pictures of effectively everything, and I got picked. I was so excited. But at that point, the problem with Sue was we got there when the museum opened, and because it's the most popular thing in the museum, we went there first. But it's objectively the best thing in the museum. So everything after Sue was like, oh, look.
Wow.
Some rocks. Oh, look, there's a exhibit on the Amazon with some stuff. Can we go back to the dinosaurs? Yeah, and then we went to downtown Chicago because my sister's thing when she was a kid, she always wanted to go to the American Girl store. So we went as adults, which was kind of funny to like, you know, when she was a little girl, she wanted to like bring her doll and like do all the stuff. And, like, obviously we didn't do that. But she got to see where like all of it happened and things like that. And she was really happy. And she bought American Girl doll Uno cards. So we could say she bought something from the American Girl doll store. Sunday, we did the Shed Aquarium, which I don't know if I'd go back to Shed. It was cool. The belugas, the seals, it's cool stuff to see. I don't think I would go back unless I was with someone who had never been or was really passionate about going. Because the Field Museum is very large and there are a lot of open spaces and things to read that naturally slow people down. Not the case at the aquarium. And Sue is in a massive room. And Sue's also a T-Rex, so it's a pretty big fossil. Amazon darters are like that big, and they're in a tiny little glass thing, so you're trying to press up against it and see, but you run into the problem of other people, specifically children, getting in the way. And kids aren't usually a problem for me because I can see over them. Like, whenever we go to the Detroit Zoo, I'll normally stand in the back if we're like in the reptile house or something, because I can see everything without having to like push a kid out of the way. Right. Sue was a different story. I did not care. I was stiff arming children left and right to see that dinosaur. But yeah, no, we had a good time on Sunday. I don't know if I'd go back to Shed. It was fun. It was fun. I don't know if it is worth the money I spent on tickets to go back to see the same stuff again.
Okay. Yeah.
I would do unspeakable things to see Sue again. Because dinosaurs are awesome. That's neither here nor there. Went home on Monday, had a pretty good weekend. Realized I logged out in my full Hydra setup on Thursday.
Oh no.
And logged back in on like Tuesday night when I got home from fencing. Still in my full Hydra gear. I'm like, don't ever do that. Don't ever log out with your gear. It's a scary thing because if you get hacked with all your gear on, they don't even need your bank pin. They just take your stuff. So spooked a little bit by that. So obviously I didn't really play RuneScape. And I feel like in the last week, I don't feel like I did anything in RuneScape either. Like it was a rough week prior to this past week's episode because there was the shooting at MSU. So between fencing and then like social interactions of like, holy shit, that was a thing that happened at my alma mater. That's not great. Between all of that together, I feel like I didn't achieve anything worth talking about in RuneScape. I did some PVM probably, but like didn't touch my Hydra task. And this past week, the past couple of days I've been home raiding, doing a little bit of Slayer, doing a little bit of group PVM. I have really been into the wilderness bosses. We have been on a really big, particularly, I can't even say one in particular because we've been doing them all. Yeah. We squad up, we go to Vedion, we go to Callisto, we go to how to forget Venenatus, but it's fun. It's good to go with a bigger group of people. I think the sweet spot for all of them is 3 because you don't get too many like specials on the floor because like we did like a 7-man Callisto trip a couple weeks ago and those bear traps were everywhere on the ground. Same thing if you go to like a 7-man Venenatus or a 7-man Vedion, the minions that spawn, it's like Sarachnis. They just spawn shitloads at a time. But it's a lot of fun and they're like actually genuinely enjoyable group content. It's not like Nightmare. Like I will admit I was a big naysayer about the Wilderness update months ago when it was being pitched.
Right.
It's pretty good. And it has led to, I think they made some change where like it takes like an extra tick to escape now or something.
Mm-hmm.
They made some I don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't seem too terrible, especially if you have a scout alt. Yeah. To know when people are coming, but it's been fun. It's even inspired a couple of us. I take an RCB now in my setup, and I shoot back whenever people are attacking us, nice. And it's inspired a couple PK trips where we're like, dude, we can't kill the bosses tonight. Let's kill everybody else, and like having a good time with that. But yeah, no, I've been having fun doing that kind of group content. I'm currently running Herbivore because I don't know what skill to do, and I'm probably going to get 88 here very soon. The issue of the mouse.
Yeah,
I got this mouse. Whoa. It's like an iBuyPower something, whatever mouse. I bought an iBuyPower pre-built PC years ago when I bought my computer. Still have it. Still works great. The middle mouse button is like permanently pushed in. So it is hard. I can't do anything with it. I guess I can, but I can't. I can't click it in to move, which is weird because I rotate my camera with the middle mouse button. So recently, it has been so sensitive to the touch that if I so much as lay my finger on it very gently, it registers that I'm clicking in and I can move my camera. Well, it broke even more on Thursday, I think. Yesterday, yeah. It broke even more yesterday to the point where we were at Zarpus, and when I was moving my mouse to do the scythe walk, I was rotating my camera as my mouse was moving. That's how bad it was. And then I took my mouse and I went, God fucking damn it, and I slammed it on the table, and then my left mouse button wasn't working. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm at Zarpus, and I'm like, no. I think I'm just gonna have to X-log. I don't think I can do this. But we got it working, and then after the raid, we wiped. It was a hard mode. It was a fine time, but just like the tank switch is brutal for melees, and like that's exactly what happened. If it switches from one person to another as it's about to attack, it will just melee you, and it fucking sucks. Yeah, I just stopped playing after that. Just played today after work, but like I have to use my WASD keys to rotate.
Oh, no.
It's bad. It feels like shit, and my mouse occasionally just doesn't work. So I'll have to like Control Alt Delete and close out of whatever, and then my mouse like resets for a little bit, and then I have to do it again. I ordered a new mouse. It's the Razer Death Adder V2 Halo Infinite Edition. So it's got the 117 Master Chief on it. It was supposed to come today, but it didn't. So we're cheering. Even like I played Minecraft the other day because I had 2 snow days this week.
Nice.
I played Minecraft the other day, and it was like swapping shit in my inventory. Like it was moving. I would like go to scroll to my shovel, and it would move my shovel into my bag and move like a block, like a 64 stack of dirt where the shovel should be. I'm like, this is the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do. Or like it would like spastically move back and forth, so I couldn't be like sword. I'm like punching like skeletons with leaves and shit because like can't. It was really having a hard time with this mouse. So a new one is on the way, and I'm very excited to use it. But otherwise, I feel like I've not done much of nothing. Closing in on 99 Slayer, closing in on 90 Hunter ish.
Nice.
That's it. It's not been a very spicy and eventful week for Oxie in game. It's been a great week in real life, just not in game.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? You were gone and your mouse isn't working. Like no one's gonna judge you for that. I do have a comment, and I've been trying to like keep this at the forefront of my mind because you moved past it a while ago, but you're talking about the Maggie, whatever her last name
Maggie
is.
Rogers, yeah.
Maggie Rogers concert.
Wow, that
right?
was throwing that way back to the beginning.
Way back to the beginning. You were talking about the Maggie Rogers concert in Chicago. And then you quickly transitioned to saying words. And all I heard was, and we went to this place to see Sue. And I was like, oh, cool. Sue's another like indie band that he likes. Did not register that you said museum. And then when you're talking,
I don't think I did say museum.
We spent 2 hours there. No,
I don't think I did say museum. I think I just said we went to see Sue.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, hey, Jace is on my world. Hell yeah. King
Hell
shit.
yeah.
Hi, Jace.
You're like, we spent 2 hours. And I was like, I mean, that's a normal time for a concert. And then it, came out that like, this is a dinosaur. I'm like, oh, I feel stupid.
No, we went to, I guess to be more clear, we went to the Field Museum to see Sue the T-Rex. Yes. For those of you that don't know, Sue is the most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton ever found in 1990 by Sue Hendrickson. Sue technically doesn't have a gender because after like 20, 30 years, they still don't know. Because they don't know what the like the bones tell you some things but not everything, and they kind of suspect that like because I think with birds the females are larger. Like if you look at some species of eagles, mom is massive and dad's just like itty bitty little bird. But it's the opposite in males or it's the opposite in mammals and vice versa. So they don't know what Sue's biological sex is. So when you refer to the skeleton, you refer to it as it. But when you refer to Sue's online Twitter persona, you use they, them. You follow Sue on Twitter?
Listen, dude, I didn't even know that Sue is a dinosaur. You think I follow them?
All right, everyone, thanks for coming out this week. It's been fun. It's a shame we had to end Xpwaste right before episode 99, but it's over. We're not coming back. See you guys later.
Benny Beescape said, embarrassing to have been to Chicago without seeing Sue. I've been to Chicago twice in the last year and didn't even know there was a museum.
See, it's okay for going and not seeing Sue if you're busy. I have been, this is actually my second time I went to Chicago. The first time I went was, this might be surprising, but I went for a nerdy video game thing. I went for Pokemon Go Fest in 2019. And I spent the whole day at Grant Park. And when I mean I spent the whole day at Grant Park, I put in like 25 miles just walking back and forth up Grant Park playing Pokemon Go. And it was a blast. But I was also poor as shit as like I was just barely graduated college at the time. Or I had just barely finished up my like gap year doing whatever. But I didn't have a lot of money, so I was only able to stay for like one night at a motel. And I spent the whole day there, and everybody I knew was like, "Are you going to the Field Museum to see Sue?" I'm like, "I don't have time. Like, I genuinely do not have the time to go and see Sue because like I was staying 30 minutes outside the city because that's where, like the cheapest motels were." So. Yeah, it's actually, I did see her my second time. See her at Dinosaur the second time. The skull of Sue you see on display is not Sue's real skull because the real skull
I'm sure
is
it's a casting, right?
Only the skull is a casting. Most of the other bones are actually real, which is rare for dinosaurs because dinosaur bones are historically very heavy. Yeah. Like any sauropod you see, Brachiosaurus, Titanosaurus, they're plaster. They're plastic. Yeah. Because the actual, like, I think like the femur of a titanosaur is like 6,000 pounds fossilized. So a lot of what you see hung up are like plastic plaster casts for some dinosaurs. For some they're real, and most of Sue is real, except the skull, because it's studied so frequently they keep it in its own case.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like right at the front you see Sue's real skull, and then you see Sue's body. And they have like a little diagram of like which pieces are real and which pieces are replicas because the real ones are somewhere else. Like the real ones are off exhibit, so to speak. Then they have like which ones are just fake because we couldn't find them. But like I could talk about dinosaurs.
He could probably talk about it for the rest of the podcast.
This could be a dinosaur podcast. It really could.
I think you should start a side gig where you find somebody else who's like a 10 out of 10 on the dinosaur loving scale and just talk to them. Be a podologist. I don't know, brother. It's late and I'm not feeling. Anyway, if you're still here after all of that tangent.
If you left after that tangent, quit being a piss baby. We're getting to RuneScape, okay? I'm passionate about dinosaurs, okay? You're here for my RuneScape content. You have to sit through my dinosaur content to get it. Damn.
I'm surprised Oxie doesn't play like more RS3 because like they're dinosaurs in that game. Like, have you seen the Dagonoth Kings? They're dinosaurs, baby.
They look like shit in RS3. But they actually do have like the Dagonoth Queens, but more or less. They're like, they're not called the Dagonoth Queens, but they're essentially the answer to DKs, but dinosaurs. The island's called like Akatina or something, which I think is actually the name of the snail from Ark, funny enough. But yeah, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's just like a whole dinosaur island. It's pretty neat, but also it's RS3. So
before we move on, I want to correct myself because I said I didn't really do anything in Chicago. In 2017, I went to Chicago for work also. And that time I stayed an entire week, but had a bunch of downtime. And so my coworker and I that I went with, we went and saw almost all of like the major attractions. Like we saw the Bean, but we went to the art museum. And Oxy's going to say something. Are you going to sneeze?
All of the major attractions, he says, and he doesn't know who Sue is.
Okay, I said almost all. I corrected myself.
The fucking Bean. A Bean cost $23 million, and I could make it in my garage with the right tools.
Yeah. So I saw the Bean, and we went to the museum, the art museum, and I saw like famous paintings that I had only ever seen like on the internet. So like Van Gogh's self-portrait, the one that's like little dots, but it's all these people sitting on the lawn. It's a bunch of little dots. I can't remember what it's called, but yes, I am a cultured man, if you could say that. But I've never seen Sue. But next time I do go to Chicago, bet your bottom dollar, I'm going to see Sue.
You had better.
I will. Now it's not. It's like a matter of like before I didn't know they existed, but now I do.
Now you have to.
Now I have to.
Legally
It's on my
obligated
bucket
to go see
list.
Sue.
And
they have the whole exhibit is like Earth from its inception until now. It talks about all the mass extinctions, and the exhibit itself kind of winds like an S up until you get to the main dinosaur hall. And the main dinosaur hall is kind of laid out like a weird shape too. And I think my mom was talking about like, wow, they did all this lead up for Sue. That's crazy. I'm like, you realize that's just a line, right? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, everything we saw is a line to get to Sue. The Mona Lisa is the same way.
Yeah.
They have halls and halls of artwork until you get to what is like a gymnasium-sized room with this wall in the middle with this teeny tiny little painting of this lady. Mona Lisa is not as big as you think.
Nope.
But all the hallways leading up to it are like art in history for like this particular 88 Hunter for like this particular like era of art, and it's nothing exciting. It is literally a line, and it is not exciting if you are not an art fan. I like the stuff leading up to Sue because I'm a dinosaur nerd and I can tell you about all the different mass extinctions and shit. But like it's not exciting if you're only there to see dinosaurs. So it's very cool layout. The line.
It's a line. You know what else has lines? Old school RuneScape. They're everywhere. I'm looking at them. And today we're going to talk about them. I really tried. Sorry. That was...
You got a funny way of showing it. If that was really
everybody.
trying. Holy shit. No. We're not rolling shit back. We're rolling with that.
I know. That's a podcast joke for you guys. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Oxie?
That's a good question, because when I joined the chat, I asked the exact same question, and you said, well, we could talk about this, or we could talk about this. So what are we
Let's
talking
do
about?
both. So I kind of teased it last week with Carter, but yeah, the forestry blog has been released into the wild.
Like weeks ago.
Yeah, we're a bit late.
Revised.
We're a bit
like
late
a week
here.
and a half ago.
But hey, better late than never is what I say. February 23rd, actually, which was yesterday, they re-released the released blog, if you will. So, let me just start off by saying and asking you a question.
Yeah.
Are you excited for forestry?
Yeah, I am. I'm working on Achievement of the Week. That's why I'm looking on the other side. But I actually am excited for forestry. It is one of the reasons I have put off 99 woodcutting. Because, like, I don't know what to do when I record now. Because I got 99 fire making, so I'll probably just do Hunter for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, why not do redwoods? Because I want to wait for forestry. Because forestry could have like an awesome method or be super fun, and like I don't want to like not have the motivation to do post 99 stuff. So
right.
I'll probably I'll do redwoods eventually. Like if forestry is dead content, or if it's too active to do while recording, I'll do redwoods. But I don't know. I am quite excited for it.
I am too, and that's saying a lot because I'm already freaking 15 million woodcutting XP. I'm excited that there's going to be a kind of a change starting with this, where we've already kind of seen it with fire making and a little bit with other skills, but like it's mostly been with mini games or like skilling bosses where the moderators are willing to say, this is our game and we're going to do what we want. I say all that to say, this is kind of opening the door for more skill reworks, in the sense that there was nothing wrong with woodcutting.
Mm-hmm.
Bare bones.
One of the most enjoyable skills in the game.
It's enjoyable because it's easy.
It's rewarding.
It's rewarding, yeah.
Like there's a nice, there's like, I think WeSkill now made a video of like, if you look at the reward pathway for a skill like rune crafting, where it's just the same repetitive action, but you don't actually see any reward until the very end when you have 200,000 blood runes. versus wood cutting, where you're doing an action and there's like a chance to get a log, but you don't always get one, and you do get one, and sometimes you get a bird's nest, and sometimes you get a clue scroll, and like it's just there's like a fun sequence to it. Whereas like, and then Slayer takes that to the max because like you don't know what task you're gonna get, you don't know where it's gonna be, you don't know what drops you're gonna get. That's why people enjoy Slayer so much and not rune crafting. But wood cutting good, pretty much.
Wood cutting good
for wood cutting good. Yeah,
wood cutting is one of the easiest skills in the game. Fundamentally, you have an axe and you have a tree.
Please do not
click on the tree.
Explain wood cutting in an old school
That's
RuneScape podcast. I was gonna say, Michael, if you're about to go into detail on how to wood cut, they're here because they play RuneScape. They know
wield
how
your
to
axe,
cut.
or you can have your axe in your inventory, and it depends on what axe you. No, fundamentally, it's the easiest skill in the game. And Jackix said, "Yeah, let's do an update." What does that mean for other things? Honestly, you could have a change to the way fishing is. Like, you could have a fishing update come in the game. You could have a freaking, I don't know, thieving update. You could have like this. This just opens the door for more and more things related to skilling. Because like in this game, skilling updates don't happen very often. If you look back, and like I said, they happen, but they're usually like a boss that you have to kill. This is literally just going to be things that you can do anytime, anywhere, and it's going to happen naturally the way that you normally cut wood. I feel like I'm trying to write a paper, and it's like 1,500 words, and I've got like 700 words, and I'm done. Just trying to spice it up a little bit.
Cusco's poison. Poison for Cusco. Poison intended for Cusco.
Cusco, yeah.
Cusco's poison.
So, and take a shot every time I say forestry, because like, you know what's going to happen. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about like the currency that they've talked about, because I'm pretty sure, and this is my understanding reading through this, the leaves that you would normally get when you're like snipping a tree for farming they're going to repurpose those as like currency for different forestry kits. I don't know. That there was like this blog, we'll have it linked in the description, jam-packed, full of so much stuff. Because they're adding like they're like essentially adding a new equipable slot to have things for forestry. Pork Jerry in the recording booth just like straight up copy pasted the wiki article, the wiki entry for woodcutting. I'm not going to read it, but I really want to. I'm not going to read it. Like I said, there is so much that they're wanting to add. The one thing I am most excited about with forestry is the ability to recolor the beaver. Because you know what I love in this game more. I don't love anything more than being able to like transmog a pet. I got invited to a raid this week, and they're like, Michael, gear up, we're going to Chambers. And apparently it was like a transmog pet only raid. And I brought my bloodhound. I'm like, I don't want to go to my bank. I don't want to go to my POH. I don't have any pets that can transmog. So like that would have been an easy bring right there.
Rift Guardian. You have Rocky.
Yeah, but like that's not you can't just like toggle. It's not a toggle. You have to like physically. I'm not going to bring a red berry into the raid so halfway through I can be like, aha,
use it at the
red
bank.
Raccoon.
It's also raccoon. It was a regular Chambers. You could have brought a red berry and been okay.
That's true. I did have at least like all my brews left.
Michael takes 800 years to get ready for Ulm. We are downstairs ready to pot. We're like, Michael, where are you? He's like, oh, no, I'm just finishing up scavenging. We're like, Michael, we're downstairs ready to pre-pot. He's like, oh, we're done? Like, dog, please.
I lied. I wasn't scamming. I was posting the episode. So they wanted me to do this on a Wednesday night when I like got on to post the episode. And I was like, I'll just hop on a Discord because like I don't need like silence to be able to post an episode. So I hop in and yeah, I was definitely really busy. But I'm like, I'll go. So I didn't do half the rooms. I think I stayed back for shamans, mystics, crabs. I did a little thieving. Anyway, yes, I was not scabbing.
It still took him 1,000 years.
It did, yeah.
Like,
so there's another thing that's really exciting about. I feel like I'm trying to convince you to like forestry.
I'm gonna let you finish, I guess.
Okay.
Because I'm having fun with this. So yeah, by all means, keep going.
I'll do my sales pitch here, and for the listeners too. If you guys aren't convinced, skilling update good. Have you ever heard of a campfire, Oxie?
No, explain to me in graphic detail what a campfire is.
So a campfire is whenever you are setting up your camp and you have a fire. And anyway, so with forestry, they're going to be introducing campfires and teas. What are teas? Teas are these drinks where you put the leaves that you get from different trees into a cup and you make it hot.
Someone in the recording booth chat just sent the entire wiki article. A copy and pasted wiki. Not the RuneScape wiki. The Wikipedia article for what campfires are.
Guys, if you aren't in the recording booth, now's the time. Join the Patreon. So with teas, memes aside, with teas, with campfires, it's basically going to be skill boosting, different sort of like buffs that you can get for your account. Imagine you're at God Wars dungeon and you have a log and you make a campfire, but like, I think we've actually talked about this as like a fun question. Like if burning different types of logs gave you different effects, then the meta is to bring like a tinderbox everywhere with you. Am I remembering that correctly?
We did discuss that at some point. I don't remember why, but we did talk about it in one of the episodes. Funny enough, the XP wasters will know. I guarantee you there is an XP waster out there who's like, I know, you talked about that in episode 78 when they pitched this idea, and you mentioned that you should bring a campfire and cook food, or you weren't talking about this at all. So you guys are so dedicated to the show, you know it better than we do. And not even kidding, I am excited to see that you got like what you guys do to like put that out, you know, like who has ever that was not a feasible sentence in English. I'm excited to see how quickly you guys are able to figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
with the campfires, it like burning a log, that's not going to change. You'll have to add leaves to the log, and these leaves will come from, it's actually going to depend on the type of tree you got the leaf from. And then like how many you put on there for the buff that you'll get. And then with the leaves, you can also brew tea. So it's all coming together, right? It's all coming together. At the end of the day, this is so well thought out. Like when they talked about it at the summit, I was like, oh, cool. It's going to make like woodcutting more social. But reading the blog that I'm reading now, it came out February 8th. So it is, right, like you said, we're recording on the 24th. There was an update on the 23rd, which I think was for the blog or like the poll questions. But the actual blog that I'm reading came out quite a bit ago. And if you guys listen to other RuneScape podcasts, you probably have heard everybody's thoughts on it, or, you know, you watch RuneScape YouTube. But at the end of the day, I'm excited about this. Now, the sucky part, it's not coming out for a while. I think they were saying like June or July for these updates, which is still quite a ways away, but we have a lot to look forward to. It's a skill that I think really did need some sort of, it's not a rework. They're not changing the fundamentals of take an axe, cut a tree. It's a skill improvement. And it just makes me excited for like the future of old school RuneScape players to say, yeah, like before you just chopped a tree and got a log, and half the time you dropped it because you, like, realistically, if you're going to say you're an Iron Man and you're going to need a log, there's two ways you're going to get a log. That's either through PVM or through Kingdom. I highly, highly doubt anybody has sat there and chopped a log and actually banked it unless it's like a magic tree log or maybe a yew, because those are decently expensive for like how AFK they are. And mahogany, okay, there's 3: yews, mahoganies, and magics. Every other log, you just drop it. You literally just drop it, or you fletch it and drop it. Like, this is going to fundamentally change the skill in a way that I think is definitely going to improve the game for new players, because who doesn't love woodcutting? It's one of the few skills that I'm like, I don't want to play the game right now, but I could sure go for some woodcutting. That is that chill. That's enough about forestry, I think.
Man got so wrapped up in his Marlin-ass description of forestry that he forgot to finish the fact that he was trying to give me a sales pitch for it. TLDR, I'm excited for forestry. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I read the blog probably 3 weeks ago, so it's not entirely fresh in my head. It's going to bring some good stuff. I hope they add the fox from the trailers as a pet. I saw they're talking about it. It's interesting how they're rolling it out. In June of 23, they're putting out the first bit. And then in August, they're making balancing changes and adding more events and more rewards, which kind of similar to how they did summoning way back in the day, where they released it in parts. I'm hoping I say I'm hoping, but I feel like at this point I just say that stuff instinctively out of like a knee-jerk reaction, because like we have not had a really shitty content release in a really long time. Like we have not had I want to say the last like absolute conundrum was Shattered Relics because of the rollback, I think, but even then I don't remember.
Yeah,
so maybe, but like all the big pieces of content, all the big changes we've had have been good. So I think at this point it's just force of habit to be like, well, I hope they release it when it's good. It'll be fine. Right? Like, have a little faith that the professional game developers know how to develop a game professionally. It's interesting because they did the same thing with Summoning, and Summoning was not put together. Summoning was not finished when they released it. Like, they released... The skill itself may have been finished, but like the way they broke it up, it sure as hell didn't seem like it way back in the day. So, cool that they're like implementing this method. I'm hoping they're not... I'm curious how they're going to balance it between fun and rewarding. Like, imagine for basically the entire summer, we only have Slayer up to level 70.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I'm worried, because in the poll thing, they only really talked about, or not the poll blog, the content release from the 8th. They only really talked about kind of like max like 70 wood cutting stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping in August they release like Redwood Titan that takes 95 wood cutting as a forestry event. Like, I'm hoping they have like really high level stuff that gets added in, because I think that is fun as well, because I feel like at a certain point, unless this is objectively better to do for some way. They've already said they wanted to sit around Soliceps XP-wise, which, like, all right, fair. Soliceps are what, 60 to 80k an hour? I haven't fact-checked that, but it's going to be slower than 1.5 and 2-tick Teaks, which, if you want a 2-tick Teaks, have a field day. I'm not going to do that.
No.
But, you know, so I think... Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited to see what they add. I'm hoping they add more high-level pieces to it, but a lot of the bits they're doing, I'm excited for. But I'm not going to drone on.
Yeah. I do have one more thing, because they specifically said that for the Woodcutting Guild, there would not be any events. Like, they're all around Gielinor, except for the Woodcutting Guild. So, unless they plan to put redwood logs or redwood trees elsewhere, I don't foresee any like super high level stuff.
But it doesn't
like,
it doesn't have
trees
to be
maybe?
a redwood tree. It can be a redwood event. Shooting stars are not inherently like Runite locked content. You just have to have a high level to mine a star when it first falls.
That's true.
So I think what could be cool is if they made some of these events take a really high wood cutting level, or they take some of the events they've already pitched, like the Dryad or the Fairy or whatever, and they make like a quote unquote hard mode version, like it's the dryad that needs 50 wood cutting to help stave off whoever, or to help fix a tree. Maybe you have to fend off poachers at level 50 with like your rune axe. But then maybe at level 95 the poachers are the Barrows brothers, or it's Zuck or something. Like there's somebody you have to like fight off that takes a little bit more skill and is a lot more rewarding, because I would imagine after a while, if you're mid 90s doing forestry events, some of these events are going to be one tick skips. I'm optimistic they're all going to be fun.
Yeah.
But realistically, and this isn't me trying to shit on Jagex, this is the nature of the game that we play. Events that require a lower level to enter, say, for example, an event that takes 25 wood cutting versus an event that takes 75 wood cutting, is going to offer less rewards and possibly less XP. So it might actually be a hindrance to you for both XP and currency per hour to do the lower tier event. So I'm kind of hoping they release like a higher level version, or new events that only spawn, like maybe it will check all the wood cutting levels, and if everyone's wood cutting level is above 70, they'll release like a tree rot that you have to cut out that gives you good XP, but you have to be 70 plus wood cutting. I'm just throwing shit at the wall like I always do, but either way, I'm optimistic. It's going to be a fun expansion, and I'm waiting to get 99 until after it comes out. So I'll probably have 99 in the fall. So if there's a woodcutting tile in Fall Bingo 2023, it was definitely my fault.
Spoilers. I don't think we ever had a woodcutting tile, so that would actually be kind of fun.
On the very first bingo we did, yes, way back in the day.
It was like modeled after Leagues, though, right? Where you could do.
It was 1 million woodcutting XP.
Was it 1 million? Okay,
1 million woodcutting, and it was 2 million agility because we were stupid. But that's a story for a different time.
My brain doesn't go back that far. I have to see like reference material for that kind of stuff. I'm gonna pull up the picture of the poll while you talk about Desert Treasure 2. Because listen, Xpwasters, I forgot to vote. I'm just gonna come out and say it now. I forgot to vote, but I trusted everyone so much to do the right thing that I was like, I don't need to vote.
He forgot.
This is justification. So
he forgot.
I forgot 100%. That's on me. That is on me. So we've got a poll that ended. When did this end? Today or yesterday? It's Friday today. So a lot of this stuff passed, which I'm happy about. I guess it would be easier to talk about the things that didn't pass. So as of the poll that ended, it doesn't look like we're going to get freeze penetration or poison penetration. Pretty much everything else either passed or the consensus was like a majority answer. Because this was an interesting poll where there was like three choices, and they said the one that gets the most votes is what we'll end up doing. So it wasn't like a yes or no type thing. An example of that was, if question 2 passes, what power level would Virtus robes sit at? Question 2 did pass, 75%. Good on you. And so at this point, question 3 was like, should they be stronger than Ancestral? Should they be equal or weaker? And so at this point, they're going to be stronger than Ancestral robes, is what the community wanted. Endgame raid, go burr? Not anymore, I guess. That's what the community wanted. And it passed at a 42%. So like,
which is absolutely shocking to me, because I was just in an echo chamber. I don't think I talked to a single person who was like, yeah, new best in slot magic. Everyone I talked to seemed to say the opposite. Even I feel like the devs were like, there's a really nice spot between the progression right now is like wizard robes, salad robes, mystic, RMs, 300 mil for full ancestral. Like, it's a big price difference. It's a big, like, there's no other magic damage boosting armor in the game.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't think. I am not sure if Elder Chaos and Dagon High offer a damage boost, though I suspect they don't, because I feel like if they did, they'd be much more popular outside the realm of the pures that they're currently used on. So I haven't fact checked that, but I think Ancestral is the only body, hat, and legs, minus the Slayer helm, that offer a magic damage boost. I am shocked they want this to be more powerful than Ancestral. Shocked.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I voted weaker.
Yeah, that's
I
I
thought-
would have.
I thought it should have, I think, the full set of Ancestral, maybe like a 1% damage boost, or maybe a damage boost to things only on the Ancient Spellbook. I think there's a question in here that was like, should Virtus robes boost ancient magics or just do something else?
Mhm.
And I think Virtus could fit a nice niche by giving boosts to magic, like damage boosts, accuracy boosts, and possibly effect boosts to only ancient magic. So I was having this conversation the other day with some of the folks in Discord that, like, realistically, if Virtus released to a similar level of Ancestral, it's not as strong damage percent wise, but it objectively makes ancient magics better to use.
Mhm.
It would become best in slot at TOB. If your freezes last for 20 seconds longer than 15, if you're hit harder, if you're more accurate, and thus need to take less switches and give like more room for other switches that could be used other places, it's the best for South Mage at TOB. It wouldn't become best in slot at TOA, and it wouldn't become best in slot at Chambers. Because if you're using the Shadow, you want the damage boost over the effect boost. It would become best in slot if you're using magic robes to burst, or if you're doing like the Thermi method with Ice Barrage and the Sangstaff. It could be good there.
Right.
I don't know where the community's coming from on this. I don't think this is a great decision. It's making me hesitate to buy Ancestral robes now, because I really wanted Ancestral.
Yeah.
But now it seems like we're getting something different. And like, it could be justified to touch a little bit on what they've said about the bosses.
Yeah.
They said the easiest boss is going to be like Vorkath Muspa level, and the hardest boss is like objectively the most difficult post-quest content they've released ever, which is alarming because TOB is also technically at this point post-quest content. It's not, but like, it's not going to be harder than Theater of Blood, and it's not going to be harder than the Inferno, but it's going to be harder than Corrupted Gauntlet. It's going to be harder, at least from what I'm hearing, it's harder than Vorkath, harder than Muspa. So all the quest-related bosses.
Yeah, I kind of interpreted that as a boss that you fought in a quest. So obviously Vorkath and Muspa, but then you had a repeatable version afterwards, because that's what these are going to be. Quest bosses that are repeatable.
Yeah,
so
no, it's
harder than Vorkath, harder than Muspa. I don't know. You're taking it to a level I didn't even consider.
Well, they said it's going to be the hardest thing they have released post-quest
boss. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's an interesting way to look at it.
Obviously, the Theater of Blood thing is a stretch. It's not going to be a solo encounter that's harder than group TOB. That's objectively not going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's a very real chance it's harder than Corrupted Gauntlet. There's a very real chance we get a Fizani's Nightmare or harder level solo boss after one of these quests, which, fair enough, but also, do we want a piece of equipment that is that powerful coming from a boss that can be repeated and, much to the chagrin of the community, eventually botted and gold farmed?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think you're going to run into problems with that somewhere. Again, this is probably me just being a naysayer to be a naysayer. I do apologize.
Right.
It's just a weird decision to make it stronger than Ancestral. I don't like that very much.
I do want to call out, this is community consultation when it comes to the rewards. This isn't like a downright rewards blog. This is happening. Most of these questions are like, should we do this and explore this? I think Tiki in our recording booth chat pointed that out, that this is merely just getting feelers for a lot of stuff. So like, when we say this will be stronger than Ancestral, that was merely a feeler for them to get where the community is, like where the heads are at, because they can see that 42% said stronger, but then a combined 60% said we either want it to be equal to or lesser than ancestral. So they could take this a lot of ways, in my opinion. They could take this as, I mean, if a majority of the percentages said equal to or greater than ancestral, then they want to balance this to be pretty strong. But in this case, a majority said equal to or weaker. So it could go either way.
And again, it could be a matter of, because question 2, that was like, hey, if question 1 passes, should this have an effect for ancients? Maybe because this is community consultation, they come back with a reward design for Virtus that is like, hey, this will have a moderate magic damage boost, less than ancestral, unless you're using ancient spells with the ancient scepter.
Yeah.
Then
ancient
it's
magics.
fucked, and it hits really hard. But at that point, does that extend to other Zeros items? I'm not 100% sure, because the regular ancient staff, the ancient scepter is not hard to get, so we shouldn't consider that piece of it. But maybe the damage boost has to have a lot of pieces, where like the ancient scepter doesn't have as much DPS as the Kodai or the nightmare staff, but together the ancient scepter with Virtus on ancient magics might make that niche more powerful than Kodai and ancestral for ancient magic uses.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. Question 6 on here talks about the blood, ice, smoke, and shadow gems coming from the 4 different bosses. And those gems are things that you would attach directly to the scepter, not the like ancient staff. So the scepter does play a pretty big part in all of this.
But the scepter's not hard to get.
Yeah.
It's not a pity drop like Vorkath's head, but it is not hard to obtain.
Right.
It's Muspa is not, again, I don't, Muspa is not a difficult boss. It's not a mid-game boss, but it's just Vorkath and Zulrah. And once you learn how to do Vorkath and Zulrah no longer become difficult. Muspa is in that exact same pool. So you can get the Ancient Scepter, but if it kind of like locks you out of like, I don't know. There's ways they could make it stronger than Ancestral, but for niche situations, I guess, is the point of this rant.
Yeah.
But if they're just outright like, yeah, every piece has a 5% magic damage boost, go crazy.
Okay, I mean, at that point,
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
they said power creep. We don't care. We're putting it in the game.
It likely would become something where you have, this is totally off the wall, but like you have like a thread or a needle that gets dropped, and then you can combine ancestral with the robes, like they've done with all of the new end game stuff, is like combining armors to make a stronger armor, and eventually your Legos are just stacked up to the ceiling. I don't know.
I don't hate that. I'm a little tired of it, but I don't hate it. Like I wish, because if we look at weapons that have just been combined from other weapons, Missouri, Torva, Dragon Hunter Lance, Zarite crossbow, what else gets attached and upgraded? Ancient Scepter,
Avernic
Defender hilt. There's a lot of stuff that is just use an existing item. And from a design perspective, for a game that is as horizontal as old school RuneScape, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a little bored of it.
We gotta think it's not new.
I would like to see a weapon drop from something that isn't a raid, because that's a question for you. Can you name me an item that has been dropped from a monster in recent history that does not require any sort of assembly and is just a weapon?
I mean, the Venator bow.
Assembly.
Oh, assembly? No. Recently, no.
Used to have the Blade of Saldor.
True.
And then we got the enhanced crystal weapon seed, which more or less could be considered. But you still got to put the stuff in to like make the bow or make the blade and upgrade it and corrupt it and do all that.
I don't think we have.
Yeah, we've
those were the days where you would just have like open your chest and you would just get Blade of Saldor. There was no enhanced seed. It was just there.
I mean, it is not a bad design. I'm not trying to flame the design. I just something new would be cool. I think the last time to answer my own question is Nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I think
that's probably with the Inquisitor stuff. Yeah,
Inquisitor and the Inquisitor mace and the harmonized staff and all that. I think.
So, but I was going to say earlier, like combining items with other items. If you think about the history of RuneScape, at least old school, it's not totally a new concept. They've kind of been doing it since the beginning. Like you have the Kraken tentacle, you have stuff from Zulrah that attaches to the trident. You have the boots from Cerberus. Like all of the OG Slayer bosses and just all that kind of stuff. It all kind of upgraded existing items, which is fine. But you're right, boring as hell.
And exactly. It's not a bad design choice. We have a game where you can always fill a niche and you can always use one thing to make another thing better. I just want to see something new, I guess.
So what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
And this is new. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got new magic armor. I'm going to upgrade. I don't want it anymore. Like, I still want Missouri. I still want Virtus. Like, I still want the item. I just think at some point it would be cool to get an item and you just get it and can use it out of the gate that doesn't come from a raid. Because let's look. You've got Obor. You've got technically Hydra with the thrown axes and the knives. You used to have Gauntlet. You have Nightmare and Fazani's Nightmare. And that's it.
God Wars, but like
God Wars came out in 2008. 2013, 2008.
We're talking new. Tiki is spamming.
Okay,
Tiki in the recording booth. He is spamming Sarachnis. Like
Sarachnis.
Going out of style.
Yeah, Sarachnis, Obor. Yeah, that's fair. But like, I don't know. It's a good design. Let's just mix things up a little bit. Speaking of designs, did you design something for the player created design submission?
I didn't.
Did you? I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Are
you ready to reveal it?
Yeah. I posted it on Twitter a couple days ago, but no, I called it the Blade of Balance. I was like in my office. I'm like, man, that's cool as hell. I should pitch something.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and
wait, you designed that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was gonna say, it's not like it has 1 million retweets. There's like 10 likes on it, and it's all just people who listen to the show, which is great, by the way. I love that you guys engage with my stuff on social media, but I don't think it's going to be game breaking or anything like that. And more or less, the point of the blade was it's a 4-part blade that looks like an epee sword from fencing, because I'm a whore and I like fencing. And it has like a really fun spiky design because I'm a guy who doesn't draw very well, and I'm like, yeah, swords with spikes, it's super cool. But it's 4 pieces, and the idea is that you get a damage boost on task for certain monsters, but at milestone tasks 10, 50, 100, 250, you get a really big damage boost. So like 250th task, maybe you get like a 25% damage boost. That stacks with the Slayer helm.
Ooh.
So like
ripping
it's just,
through those Karasks.
Yeah, it's just it wouldn't be able to be used on Karask because it's not leaf bladed.
Damn it.
Nerd.
Let's attach it to the leaf bladed axe.
That's so stupid. No attaching. But yeah, the other perk that it had was you could attach expeditious or slaughter bracelets to it. Or maybe the gems, and like add a certain number of them as like a sync for that item, which like you don't need to because they break apart anyway. But like then you can have I think I called it the violent or the swift blade of balance.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get the effect of the bracelet while being able to wear ferocious gloves, Zarite Van Braces, bracelet of
slaughter.
Nope, not slaughter.
Expeditious.
Nope, the orange one.
Tormented.
That's what it is. That's what the magic one. Wizard. Yeah. Would it stack with salve? I don't care. Sure. Tiki asked in the recording booth. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, it's not gonna pass. Some people have commented on the post on Reddit, and they're like, "This is way too OP." And like, kind of like, no shit. I didn't give the exact stats. Like, I'm not trying to solve the world's problems with this. It's just a player created design proposal. Maybe they take it and they think, hey, that's a neat idea we'll use somewhere else. And they're like, oh my god, that's that Oxie guy from Xpwaste. We should totally listen and love that show so much. I did this for you guys, Xpwasters. Not,
it's all for you,
not
everybody.
Me. Or maybe it's a league's idea. Who knows? Maybe they look at the Blade of Balance and think that could be a really cool relic in the next league, where the higher it is, the more damage you do on task. I don't know.
It could go everywhere or nowhere. Mod Ash did reply, but not specifically to comment about your design. He said, hey, I'm not doing this. This is not my department. I'm going to leave it to the people who are.
Oh, I didn't even see his reply.
Yeah.
I genuinely did not. I think I tagged him, Aiza, Light, and Osrs because I didn't know who to tag. So I was like, these three are on Twitter a lot. And I just like tagged them because I didn't know who to tag.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But I think somebody like commented under. They like added Mod Ash and were like bump. And I'm like,
that's what he replied to.
I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
He replied to them.
So sorry, Mod Ash. I didn't ask him to do that. Like I said, appreciate the engagement, but like, I don't know who's in charge. I'm just trying
slightly like, even if he didn't like comment on it to say, hey, this is a cool idea, it's still cool to see his name pop up on posts. One day we'll have him on the show, Xpwaste. That is I wouldn't say it's the end goal for this podcast. Like, the last episode we ever do is with Mod Ash. No, like, the podcast will go on. But if we had him on the show, I know he doesn't do podcasts, so that's kind of like, that would be the cool thing to have him because he doesn't do this kind of stuff. But I just want to pick the guy's brain. I don't know. He's just a legend. That's all I can say.
Like, Michael wants to fangirl.
I do. It's like I can't explain. It'd be like talking to the wise old man in real life. Like if there was an actual person who is the wise old man, and you go and he's just legendary. Anyway, the rest of this community consultation poll, it's got some pretty great stuff. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it in the game. If you look at a poll booth and you go to history, probably the best way to do it. Take a look for yourself and see where they want to take the direction of these future like rewards from Desert Treasure 2. It's interesting. And it gives me hope that like this is like the future of polling. Really? Like when it comes to content, normally before this, we would see this. We would see this poll that they put out and it would say, should we do this or this? And then if you vote yes or no, like that's end all be all. It's either happening or it's not. But since this is still far away, this gives them time to really put out feelers to see, hey, I mean, majority of the people who are going to vote on this, do you want this or this? And that gives them a direction to go in. So we're kind of like putting together a map for these things to happen so that A, it's a great update when it comes out. And B, I would really hope that we see less complaining on Reddit because at the end of the day, guys, we got what we wanted because they asked us way in advance. This stuff is like early in development. So that's my two cents. I think it's time we go to break. Any final thoughts?
There's probably new rings coming. Feast, Freeze, and Poison Penetration that we didn't talk about are not coming. That's probably a good thing. You won't know why. But it is probably a good thing they're not coming to the game. It's looking like the new prayer book, which, tiny little addition to the game, is probably going to be combat and skilling. That's fun.
But that's going to do it for this section. Like I said, if you want to read it, we'll have it linked. It's fascinating. But we'll see you after this.
Hey, how's it going? Name's Tony. Some people call me Fat Tony. I don't really know how I feel about that. But welcome to my pizza shop. This is Tony's Pizza Bases, located out here in the wilderness. I don't know how to feel about that, but it's kind of the hand you're dealt, you know? I can hear you asking me right now, Fat Tony, why are you out in the wilderness? Why are you out there? Well, I'm fleeing for my life, you know? I had to flee Misthalin. There's this nasty rumor about me that I poisoned old King Rold. There's no basis for that. So you come into my shop out here in the wilderness, what you gonna get? I got everything you need to make a pizza. Got your cheeses, got your tomatoes. Hey, and if you kill a rat out there, I'm sure you could probably find some meat for your pizza, but if you ain't into that, I don't know what to tell you. If you come out here, come out to the wilderness, I'll make you a pizza you write your mama about it. I know it's gonna be dangerous, right? I know that. But I'll tell you right now, it's worth the risk. Come and see Fat Tony, come and see for yourself. Your time is valuable, and so is mine. I got some bandits to feed, they're getting kinda hungry. I'm gonna hit you with my tagline and close it out. Here we go. The name's Fat Tony. I'm an expert in pizzas, both the making and the eating. Oh, real quick before I go. If you ever out in Drano Village, I got a cousin named Fortunato. Tell him Fat Tony said hey.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's part of the show now where we take a second to thank our patrons who support us on patreon.com/Xpwaste. Normally, we would shout out the Wise Old Man with anybody who is a new patron in the Wise Old Man tier. This week, there are none. So thank you to all of our Wise Old Man patrons. Shout out to the entire group. Names are on screen now. You know who you are. Love you so much. Big perk of the Wise Old Man tier is the recording booth. You've heard, like, if this is your first time listening to the show, you've probably heard us say it many times. If you're a frequent listener, we say it all the time. It's a massive part of our Discord, massive part of what we do here on the show. And if you would like to join Wise Old Man tier or higher, the Patreon. But ones we can give shout outs to is the KBD tier. Massive shout out, lovely bunch of people here. Thank you so much. Starting with Brokes70, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, my dad, Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Evasive Ebu, XP Enjoyer, brand new KBD patron, GIM Stones, Impy Jones, the Lord Jake himself, Mark aka iSteam, Rylithian, SatanBot666, Soggy Waffles, Seth Shep, Scuba92, Spartan Fire, Taco Ninja, The Big G Jordy, Crayola Crayon, THG Bang, and Toast No Toast. Thank you to everybody in the KBD tier for your support. It means a lot to us. Like, seriously. When we put up the KBD tier, I had zero expectations of anybody ever joining it. And you guys blow us away each and every week. So thank you so much. If you would like to join the Patreon, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Xpwaste. I said that in the beginning. And we have many tiers available, ranging from $1 all the way up to $25. That goes to support things that we do for the show. And we plan to do a lot of things for the show. So we're very excited for what we have in the future. I could give a little shirt update. So if you were a part of Patreon back in October, we ran a little challenge where if we got to 150 total patrons, everybody who was subscribed at the moment we hit 150, we promised you guys shirts with a custom design on the front and your names on the back. Those are currently at the printers and they're being printed and they should be at my house within a week or two. Once they arrive, we'll collect everybody's addresses and my wife and I will painstakingly pack every single package with love and hearts and kisses, give them all a warm little hug, and we'll send them off to everybody around the world. And you'll get your shirts, finally. I'm so excited. So once all the packages have been shipped out, we'll have a special design that is different than the one that we're doing for the shirts, and that'll go on our merch store. So if you want to get your hands on the design that's not really the design, then check out our merch store in a couple weeks from now, xpwaste.shop. We'll obviously talk about it when that time comes. But I, for one, am very excited. It's been a long time coming. This has been a learning experience for Oxie and I, for when it comes to like, you promise something, you probably should have had a little bit of knowledge moving, going into it. But like, we're like, hey, we're going to give you guys shirts, and then did zero research as to what it was actually going to take. So moving forward, if we ever do something like that again, just know it'll be quicker. Cause like, it's been what, like 6 months? 6 months since
4 months?
Since October? Since October, it's been
4 months.
4 months. 4 months. So, right, it's only February. You're true. 4 months is a long time to wait, but we hope you guys enjoy them. I know they look amazing. So that is it for the Patreon. Moving on now to the community question. Last week, I asked you guys, if you could start a podcast, what would it be about? Carter and I kind of got into a lot of podcast talk because we're both, RuneScape podcast hosts. And I was curious, we have a lot of creative people in the community. What would you guys do for a podcast? What would your podcast be about? Mike B says, how to Xpwaste while Xpwasting, listening to Xpwaste. Okay. Listen.
You're almost there. The name just XP doesn't sound like a good name for a show.
No, I wouldn't.
Xpwaste, I don't like. Cause yeah, you'd call it something like Xpwaste, and not a fan.
Nah, wouldn't do it. Timothy says, I would do a podcast for people that are really dry on pet drops or unique drops titled, It's Okay, the Drop Will Come. Nice. And you're just like, hey, apply to be on the show and send me your collection log.
Or
it's like a therapy session.
It's okay, the drop will come. Could also be the name of the world's longest EDM song that just edges you the entire time. It's like dun 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 dun. It's okay, the drop will come. And it never does.
It never does. The whole song is like promising it. Thorped says, coffee. As I'm far down the rabbit hole that is specialty coffee, I use a scale to weigh beans, water, and you time it. Plus, I need to fund an espresso machine somehow.
Coffee is surprisingly, it's going to sound stupid as shit, surprisingly popular.
No.
And, okay, like I said, it's going to sound dumb off the rip, but like, you don't think, just like when you tell people like, hey, I have a podcast about old school RuneScape, and they say, oh, that game we played as kids, and you're like, yeah, and then they don't think anything of it, and you're like, well, here are our Spotify analytics, here's our Spotify Wrapped for 2022, here's our billing statement from Patreon, here's our billing statement from Anchor, here's the name of our Spotify contact, Chris, who's a pretty cool guy, like is our what is he, our like marketing contact or somebody at Spotify?
Yeah, like if we have any questions, we can
and like once you go into detail about like, yeah, no, it's real, and they go, holy shit, I never would have guessed. That is coffee. I've drank coffee every day since I was like a sophomore in high school. The amount of like intricacies and shit that can go into it, I never would have guessed. And It makes sense, but like this motherfucker just said he weighs the beans and then times the water or does something.
He weighs the water too.
Weighs the water. Like that's, I just pour. So my routine for coffee in the morning is I fill up my little single cup pod from my Maxwell House French roast thing, my little single cup thing. Put about 2 or 3 scoops in, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And then I fill up my receptacle, like a mug or a travel mug, depending on where I'm going. Fill it with water, and then I pour that into the single cup side of my coffee machine. And then I hit start. And that's how I make coffee. And that's how I've made coffee every day for like 8 years.
Yeah.
like my ex introduced me to French presses, which I own one and don't usually use. And even that was like wizardry when I saw it. So
it's pretty extra.
I feel
Well,
like if
it's
you
like-
want to start a podcast on coffee and you've got the knowledge, that could be some good shit. You can go over like a bean a week or a style of coffee a week.
Well, yeah, you could like. There's so many different varieties. The coffee is grown in so many different countries. You could go into the backstory, or like you could give a regional talk about how the beans are grown in different areas. You could give coffee tip. Like, honestly, if somebody, Thorped, we don't have your real name. That's your display name or whatever. Thorped, if you actually make this, find a way to link it to me because I will listen to your coffee podcast. Very interested. I worked at Starbucks for over 2 years, and they really try to like claim that they're a coffee company. They're yes and no. They're like a specialty drinks company. Like, if you go to Starbucks to get brewed hot coffee, you're doing something wrong because it's essentially overpriced burnt water. That's my take. So you go there for like the frappuccinos and the cold foam cold brew with sweet cream and butter, whatever. So don't go to Starbucks for like your. I say all that to say, like, when I was working at Starbucks, they were really trying to push that they source their beans from these exotic places that grow beans, but it's tomfoolery. Moving on. Taco Dog says, Xpwaste was the main inspiration behind my podcast, Enter the Dragonair's Den. It's a podcast about Pokemon Go, team-based PvP. It started with my teammate, and we've grown to over 500 plays. A little shout out for you, Taco Dog. You deserve it. Nathan G. Nathan says, I'd for sure do a music-based podcast about music usage in shows, games, and movies. There's nothing quite like the first time you experience the Runescape, login, or Star Wars opening music. Those are big examples. That's true, and I would also listen to that podcast. Dudeheim says, Australian friend and I tried to start an honest reviews podcast, which there is an episode somewhere on my PC about Halo show, but due to scheduling and time zones, we never continued or posted. Oh, that's the tragedy. That's a modern tragedy of like creative ventures that just didn't get off the ground. This didn't go anywhere. If you're listening to this, Dudeheim, I encourage you to just post it. Just post it and see where that goes. Caleb says, I already have. I rebooted my pod from early middle school with my brother, the Super Soda Bros, a play on our names. We talk smack about OSRS, pop culture, and random nonsense, just like people our age. I love that. Super Soda Bros, spelled how it sounds. And finally on Spotify, Nitsua says, me and my roomie would love to start a podcast called Nostalgia and trade funny or impactful stories from ours and others' childhood. P.S. Michael, you're wrong about the heron. It makes sense. I'm getting a lot of flack for an offhand comment I made related to the heron pet. Oxie said he didn't listen to the episode, so he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But yes, no, I'm not wrong. The heron is the most ugly pet in the game, most useless pet in the game, and they should definitely rework it. That is it for the Spotify replies. Moving on to
I'm not letting that go. YouTube can wait a second. All I'll say, hello, welcome back to Xpwaste. Wrong answers only. You're out here telling me the heron is the ugliest pet that exists when the Penance Queen is around, when Calphite Queen is around.
The Penance Queen is trying to be ugly. They tried to make a fishing pet and failed miserably.
It's a bird. What fishes more efficiently than a bird?
Talk to me when you listen to the episode, because I gave a wonderful answer.
I have spoken to you every week for like 3 years.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
have an idea of what the answer was like. The only reason why I didn't listen was because the video version wouldn't load on my phone while I was driving home from fencing, first of all. Second of all, the heron pet has a beautiful transmog.
It just makes it blue. It's still a heron.
You mean to tell me that you think the Abyssal Protector looks better than the heron?
I think that for a pet that claims to be a fishing pet, they miss the mark. When you have things like the Inferno pet that you can transmog, where Zuck is literally crawling in the ground, halfway in the ground, because he's suspended in lava. You have
But for
the
some reason,
Kraken.
that logic doesn't look good on Kraken.
You have the Kraken pet.
Because
This
you
is
don't like
another
the way
example.
the Kraken pet looks.
You have a Kraken pet that also makes it look like he's like swimming around in water, right? So
my brother,
a fishing pet
my brother in
can,
Christ.
I'm not stopping. The fishing pet can be a fish that is swimming in the ground. Like it's swimming through the ground, and like you just see its tail wagging back and forth. And here's another idea. Make it transmoggable to the fish that you caught it with. It could be a shark. It could be a swordfish. It could be a little bass that just. It could be literally anything but a stupid heron. A heron
By that logic,
just.
you don't see it ever. You don't see.
You don't see it ever.
No.
This man
like,
wants to be followed around by a fishing spot, guys.
It's a
this
fishing
He
spot.
said, "You know what I really want to do?
that has.
I want
the shark
shadow.
on the top of the
I
water.
want the shadow from Animal Crossing to follow me around in a poorly rendered pool of water everywhere I go."
Benny Beescape in the recording booth chat says, if we saw herons, and I'll add this, anywhere in RuneScape, but namely at fishing spots, it would make more sense and be more acceptable. You're not going to change my mind.
There
I'm
are
more passionate about
squirrels
this than how
that
stupid Kraken.
explode when they make the slightest bit of contact with an item. Yet somehow that is more realistic to a hunter pet where you hunt a plethora of species.
I also said in
as
my
opposed
rant,
to, listen to me, sir, as opposed to a
People
heron,
latched on
which
to this
mentioned
heron.
by Sparry in the recording booth chat, are historically known to be really good at hunting fish.
I don't care. I mentioned the hunter conundrum that we have, that there's 2 hunter pets, but they are both locked to content that any other time you're doing hunter, you have no chance. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Second only to the heron pet. I said it in the last episode and I'll say it again. If I get the heron pet while I'm fishing, because I'm fishing right now, if I get the heron pet, I probably will purposefully die with it and not reclaim it.
You're a coward. No, you won't.
I will. I won't even put it in my house. And that's the only other place it would go. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Since they released pets in this game, I've said the heron pet is the stupidest pet. The Kraken is a close second.
I thought it
Because
was
it's
a
so damn
chinchompa.
small. I love the chinchompa. It's so damn cute. It's just dumb that you can only get the chinchompa
booth. He
through
just
chins.
said.
It said it's dumb that you can only get the chinchompa through chins. If you could get the chinchompa catching a white lily butterfly or a crimson red tail, whatever you do with the early bird trapping, then it would be up there for me. Because like any other method where you get a pet, mining, for instance, any rock in the game, you hit it with a pickaxe, boom, rock golem.
You know what we call this in therapy, Michael?
What do you call this?
Deflecting
What am I deflecting? Tell
on
me.
your wrong ass opinion about that.
No, I'm getting absolutely called out, and I need to defend myself.
Okay, so here's a difference. Other than because you can't say, well, it looks cute. What's the difference between the heron for fishing and the beaver for woodcutting? What's the difference?
You can get the beaver.
No,
Anywhere.
no. Not the method with which you obtain it.
Tell me another. Okay,
concept
I'll give you
of
I'll
an
give you
animal related to a
I'll give you an exact answer. This is a legitimate answer. Because tell me another pet that you would get from chopping a tree. I can think of a lot when
A
it comes
bird.
to fishing.
a bird. You could get a bird. You could get a termite pet. You could get a squirrel pet. You could get, yeah, maybe. Who knows? You're the one who wants to be followed around by a fishing spot, Michael.
What are beavers known for?
What
Chopping
are herons
trees.
what are herons known for?
Being bitches.
No, that's you.
Listen,
We've cornered him, boys.
This is
we've
probably
we've cornered him, boys.
This is likely due to childhood trauma. And if we're gonna unpack things, then I'll come out and say it. My mom had a beautiful koi pond growing up. Beautiful. But I would see this bitch ass heron sitting out there multiple times a day looking at him. And we had this gorgeous koi. It's probably this big. It's probably this big for all I know. One day we go out there and that koi is no longer there. You know who killed it? The heron. Childhood trauma unlocked.
Circle of life, motherfucker.
Nobody needed to touch that poor little koi fish. And yes, it was blue. Thank you, Tiki. So I'll never waste my spirit flakes on a stupid heron. Caper, I am so sorry. It was your first pet. Freaking love your heron.
I was just saying, you're not getting the heron anyway. Come on, let's be honest. You're going to drive for that.
Fine with me. Anyway, I'm getting called out and
deservedly so.
Unjustly called out in these community questions. Listen, the question was about podcasting, not whether or not the heron pet was any good. So, moving on to our YouTube replies.
Next week, comment about how much you love the heron in a different language. I can't wait for next week's community question.
Listen.
Or 2 weeks from now, or whatever it's going to be.
Crossbow Tommy says, perhaps a quest guide series that's strictly audio only for those who could follow along in time with the episode without needing to see it visually. That is smart. And Crossbow Tommy, I hope you do it. There is enough quests that you could have. If you put one out once a year, you have like 3 years. 3 years worth of content. And finally, Tiki, beloved Tiki, who is, I can't tell if he's on my side in the recording booth. Honestly, there's so much chatter about the heron pet. But Tiki Mug says, Tiki drinks or board games. Also a lovely idea.
I feel like both, Tiki. Just get shitty drunk every week. Spend the first 15 minutes of your podcast describing the drink that you're having, the intricacies, how it tastes, and then transition to game night where you and your friends are absolutely like brown out drunk playing like Risk on whatever drink you've made them. That'd be a fucking sick podcast.
I lied. This isn't the last comment. Dudeheim from Spotify, he's over here on YouTube now. He said, I had to add another comment in addition to Spotify because I heard the comment. I'd make a podcast about how good the fishing pet is. Herons are majestic AF and very good fisher birds. Let's meet at the duel arena. I'm not doubting the fact that they are good at fishing.
Heron.
Just dumb. This is not related to the community question because we're done with that. Those are all the answers. Last but not least, Austin S. says, have to disagree with Michael on the fishing pet. I think it's a great idea. Always have issues with the heron stealing fish from my pond. IRL, it makes sense to me. He doesn't have childhood trauma because this man likes it when the heron steals his fish.
He has problems with it. He doesn't like it.
That's going to be it for the community question, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who did answer. If you'd like to answer this week's question, it would be, why is the heron pet the worst pet in the game? Since you all like to comment about my hate for this pet.
I love that we have an entire episode about 2 earth-shattering updates to old school RuneScape, and you're like, no, validate me. When you know damn well you're about to get 80 responses in every known language and every fictitious language. You're going to get responses about why the heron pet looks good in Elvish from Lord of the Rings. You're going to go, guys, duh.
New merch coming soon. Heron with a
the
little circle and an arrow through it.
The community question for this week is, what are you more excited about, Forestry or the new stuff from Desert Treasure 2? Tell us about it and tell us why. in any
Hell yeah.
language you want. I don't read these questions. I don't give a shit.
He doesn't. You could do so on the community questions section on Spotify or the pinned comment on this YouTube video. Again, thank you so much. And I'm going to pass it over to my lovely, handsome, not button-up wearing co-host, Oxie.
I'm not wearing a button up because I'm still wearing my clothes from work today because it's Friday. That means, specifically for Achievement of the Week, some of you are going to get left out because this episode is going to come out on Thursday, March 2nd, I think. So if you achieved anything between the 24th and the 26th, it's not coming up. I'm sorry.
Wait a second. This is going to be... Hold on. I'm pulling up a calendar. This is coming out March 2nd.
Yep. As I was saying.
Carry on.
This Achievement of the Week is going to be a little scuffed. And as a warning for an episode that won't be coming out, the episode that comes out after this one, so the episode that comes out next week, next Thursday, the 9th, there will be no Achievement of the Week. Because we're doing some podcast magic and there won't be Achievement of the Week. So TLDR, Michael and I are recording 97 and 98 on the same weekend because we have some scheduling conflicts coming up. And we wanted to make sure we had all the time possible for 99. So we're double stacking this week. So we're recording on Friday for 97. Sunday we're recording for 98. So there will be no Achievement of the Week or probably community question for 98 either.
Right.
We'll try to get back to that stuff for 99 because that's going to be the big community episode. Speaking of community, we have an AMA out. It's in a link. We'll talk about that later if we remember. Hopefully we do.
It'll be in the description.
Yeah. We'll remind you at the end anyways. So yeah, no Achievement of the Week, but that is not to say that we have not achieved a lot of stuff. Michael told me he just stopped on Saturday night for when he did his Achievement of the Week document, and look how they massacred my boy. So I'm kicking things off with the miscellaneous category because this is where he left off. So getting their quest capes this past week, we have Main Sequence, who got it before they started recording, sir. Achievement of the Week etiquette. Mio Dio. Salted Snail, our boy Seth, got his quest cape, as did Soul. Congratulations to the three of you on a pretty solid achievement. Iron Robin also received his music cape. Moving into the combat end of Achievement of the Week, we have a slew of fire capes. This was a big week for firsts. I think this week we had 3 people get their gauntlet cape in the same day. I don't know which 3 people because I wasn't online for all of it, but it's pretty cool to see. So, kicking things off with the fire capes, we have SF Serenade, or somebody who used to be called something in Discord. That's a lot of S's, but you know who you are. Serenade got their first fire cape, as did Reed DZ. Gramazing, it's a pretty cool play on words, got their first fire cape. Toei and Ulkey, the bastard, got his first fire cape. Did you see what outfit he was wearing when he posted the screenshot? The bastard. He knows. He knows what he did. Bastard. Moving on from fire capes, we have Dave Diction, who got both his first gauntlet and his first corrupted gauntlet this week. One of the many. Envious Mud got their first Zulrah KC. Bat Fastard got his first corrupted gauntlet. Gay Raccoon, or Relu6, who I'm going to always call Gay Raccoon because I like that name a lot better than Relu. It's a good name, but just Gay Raccoon is funnier. I like that. Gay Raccoon also got their first corrupted gauntlet kill. Baxley got his first corrupted. Did I said that name right? Please tell me I said that name right. It's been like years, and every time I'm like, Baxley? It's Baxley.
No, it's Baxley.
Always have to remind myself it's Baxley. Got his first corrupted gauntlet. Bass Dad got his first Zulrah kill. The Rep Dog, who we'll hear more from in a little bit, got his first Zulrah kill. And Vuru got his first Zulrah kill as well. Shifting gears here a little bit for combat achievements. Speaking of the Rep Dog, he completed the easy combat achievements. So he's got the brown IUD, as does Real Crazy. they both finished the easies this week, which good. It's a good first step. It's got some fun stuff. And then next is mediums, which also has some kick-ass perks. Speaking of mediums, Strom got their medium diary done. So no more prayer drain up arrows. Hype shit. Finally, rounding out the combat category, our boy Scotty got his Missouri kit this week. And just recently, like just before we started recording, Planker, who also just got a Fang in CC, got his Cursed Phalanx. So he got his Fang kit. So he got a Fang to put with his new Fang kit. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations to you, Planker. It's a pretty cool achievement. I've not even completed a 300 solo, let alone attempted to do that kind of stuff on my own. I'm sure I could. I just haven't. I don't know. Moving into skilling to round out this week's Achievement of the Week. The last time you'll hear my voice doing Achievement of the Week for a little while. We have lots of 99s. So, with the double-double this week, we have Scotty, who got 99 range, in TOA as well, funny enough. 99-inch Wonder, who got 99 prayer. Blazefire 420 with 99 strength. Jack and Clubs with 99 herb, which he said something in the Xpwaste podcast chat about what his name was. And I think he said Jack and Clubs, but I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going with Jack and Clubs.
Literally
I'm
directed
really,
at you.
it was an at message too, and I have forgotten. So I really hope that didn't I didn't throw that off. I just looked at the recording booth chat. I'm sorry. Evasive Ebu got 99 agility. Jake, AIC STP Deathbeds, Jake, got 99 wizard, and he got 99 range like 2 weeks ago, I think. And I don't think we shouted him out for it. And he brought it up to me and he said, no, you don't have to shout me out, but I'm going to anyway, just to antagonize him a little bit. So congratulations on archery and wizardry, Jake. Broix 70 got 99 crafting. Hyla got 99 defense and 99 attack, getting him 126 combat. 99 Cum, I love that name so much. It's his name is Clout9 in Discord, but I just know him as Cum. It's pretty great. He got 99 farming. I think he got it with one of his group mates, actually. Fumble Swing got 99 crafting. Bowmanator got 99 slayer. A Frightened Couch got 99 range. Hov01, I think I'm saying that, HOV01, got 99 strength, and Habitat got 99 thieving. Rounding out the total levels, my boy Dean got 2k total, Dean 709. Pine Martin, some of you might know him as, got 2k total. And finally, technically, it's not an old school RuneScape achievement, but you can't just not shout it out. So, Cove, a recent member to the CC and longtime friend in Discord who's been around for a while. I interact with Cove mostly on Twitter, I feel like, more than he's been in the Discord for a while, but he recently joined the clan and he posted that he achieved 200 million magic XP in RS3.
Lovely.
Now, I don't care if it's pay to winscape. You can't ignore a 200 mil. He's
Right.
locked in his spot on the high scores forever in RS3.
True.
So that's pretty cool. Congratulations to you, Cove. And congratulations to everyone who achieved something this week. If you want to show off the awesome shit that you do, join our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Head over to the Level in Achievements channel, Levels in Achievements channel, both plural, and you'll be able to tell us about anything, whether it's a 99, whether it's a cool level up you got, whether it's a fun little kill achievement, whether it's a KC achievement. Someone posted the other day, they're like, hey, I'm new to Discord, but for the last 23 days, I've been doing nothing but Sammy, and I finally green logged the boss at like 3,500 KC. So like, hype shit, you know? That's an achievement. If you feel it is an achievement, come tell us about it, because we are interested to hear about it. We also have a lot of other fun stuff. As I have said, we are objectively the greatest RuneScape Discord ever. All roads end at TNL, because we are awesome, and we will one day consume all RuneScape Discords. We will be old school RuneScape.
Optimus Prime of RuneScape.
We are the best Discord ever. So come hang out. Some Soggy Waffles just said TNL is love, TNL is life. And with that, we're definitely going to change the subject. It's got to be fun question time, Michael. What do we think?
It is the fun question time, Oxie. And you always ask me, Michael, what's the fun question this week? So I'm going to throw it back to you, Oxie. Oxie, what do we have for the fun question today?
Would you rather fight 1,000 beavers or 10 horse-sized herons? That's what Tiki said in the recording booth chat.
Is that the question?
No, that's not the question.
Okay.
Because the answer is obviously 10 horse-sized herons. If you're ever posed with a question like that, you guys need to understand something. Beavers might be easier individually than a horse-sized heron. There are 1,000 of them. Can any of you even picture what 1,000 organisms in a room looks like?
But is it
Probably
1,000
not.
all at once? Or is it 1,000 in waves? Because if this was the question we were asking, I would say, is it 1,000 either in groups of like 10 or all like in a line? Or are you just going to be overwhelmed with 1,000
I still
at a time?
think that even fighting more than one beaver at a time would leave you, a work-from-home employee, a little overwhelmed in combat.
Yes. But have you imagined in your brain the magnitude and scale of a horse-sized bird with a beak like a heron?
Do you know what they call horse-sized birds?
Ostriches?
Dinosaurs.
Okay, sure. So 10
and if there
pterodactyls.
is no...
He's
Xpwaste, I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack.
He's mad at me.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
What?
I'm gonna.
They look like pterodactyls. Hmm?
Okay, XP Wasters, if you know, you know.
What? Are you going to tell me pterodactyls aren't dinosaurs? The megalodon is a dinosaur.
XP Wasters, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you also probably didn't know Sue was an attraction in Chicago.
You're
And
attracted to Sue?
you're damn right I am. How many times I have to tell you? The NB community can get it, and Sue is part of the NB community. Sue can get it.
Officially, they, them. What is the fun question this week, Oxie?
Anyways, I'm just trying to pose that if 10 horse-sized herons came to attack me, I would take that route, because if I'm going to get killed by dinosaurs, I'm fine with that. And no, they wouldn't be pterodactyls, because they would resemble more theropod dinosaurs anyway. Technically, they would resemble more hadrosaur dinosaurs if we're based on their hip anatomy, but I feel like that's going to bore the shit out of you if I explain it too much. Anyways.
Pork Jerry has this like 3-paragraph, well thought out answer, and no one's going to be able to read it. It's just there in the recording booth. I love it.
This episode is unhinged and uncontrollable.
Yes. Well, this is what people subscribe to for the after the not unhinged first part. So what is the fun question?
What is the fun
Unless
question? I
you
feel like
want
you're
that to be the
baiting
fun
me
question.
here. No, I don't want that to be the fun question.
Go
I
with
saw a good one in the. I saw no.
Go with Pork Jerry's.
No. I have a fun question now. Taco Ninja asked in the fun questions chat on February 18th at 9:04 p.m.
He doesn't know.
If you could add a new skill pet,
He doesn't
what
know.
would it be, and what skill would it be for?
He doesn't know.
What's the fucking question, Jerry? I read your question, Jerry. I bring my fucking iPhone, my phone charger, and a fucking cushion for my ass so
Listen.
I can play old school RuneScape.
The one from Taco Ninja was the one we asked last week, which
Oh.
sparked the heron conversation. If you listened to the episode, you would have known. That's all I'm going to say.
If it worked on my phone while I was cruising at 80 miles an hour in a snowstorm, Michael, I would have listened to it and heard your wrong-ass opinion yesterday on my way home from practice. Stop trying to put me on the chopping block on my own show. Pick a fun question.
All right, Oxie, if you could if you got transported into the world of RuneScape, it could only bring 3 real-world items. What would they be and why? Your phone is not an answer because they don't have AT&T cell towers in Gillinor.
An AT&T cell tower. And a phone charger. No, an unlimited battery because I don't think they have electricity. So I can play old school RuneScape and Lumbers.
Oh, gosh.
God, what 3 items would I bring? I'd probably bring a camera. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
And don't bullshit me like camera bag, and film. Like, no. I all the accessories with a camera.
Yeah.
Right? A camera. My inhaler, probably. As nerdy as that sounds, I gotta keep that motherfucking thing on me at all times. And probably a notebook and a pen for autographs. So I could get some people's autographs.
Not people wanting your autograph.
Who wants my autograph?
I don't know.
I'm a 5'4". I wouldn't even call myself a niche internet micro celebrity. There's like 5 people who can tolerate my voice on this show. No one wants my autograph. I want people's autographs.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Konar can sign it on my face. Everyone else can sign it in the book.
I don't know why I instantly went to, I'm going to be handing out autographs.
I get that bitch right there. Konar Quomotin. I get that bitch tattooed right there. Right
there? Okay.
Right there.
Her autograph. Simp. Okay.
Yep.
I love those answers. So you said a camera. What was the second one? Your inhaler?
My inhaler and a notebook and a pen.
Can we just give you your inhaler? Like, it doesn't have to be one of your carry-on items.
I want it to be one of my items.
Okay.
Because I've never seen anyone else in old school RuneScape use an inhaler. And I feel like that could turn me into a pretty awesome NPC.
Yeah.
You ever seen like Saw Gerrera from Rebels? Not Rebel. Well, technically Rebels, but Rogue One. Lies. Deception. Where he's got that suit where he does that.
Yeah.
You could turn me into something like that, where I like need that thing to breathe and stay
You're the guy.
So yeah, 100%.
The inhaler guy. That's a wonderful legacy. Like, you just start a family in Gillinor and they're like, wait, your grandkids are going to school. They're like, wait, your grandpa is an inhaler guy? Great.
Okay, and I'm sorry. If I became an NPC in OSRS and it had something to do with asthma and my inhaler as like part of my character, my examine text, swear to God, would need to be inhaler ?
Oh no. No.
And part of me wants to end it at that. I'm just inhaler ?
No.
But you can fit it. But if you examine me again, it would say, I hardly know her.
That's great. That's
and if you examine me for a third time, it would say, that hasn't stopped me before.
No. Okay.
Just when you thought the media
answers.
wasn't getting any more shout outs, baby.
Wait, yeah. We didn't shout out the rest of the wise one, man. Okay. My answer. 3 items from the real world into Gillinor. Number 1, I'm bringing a bicycle. Because you don't need electricity.
Damn, that would be a really good idea.
You know, me and my NPC arc are not going to have teleports. So, like, getting around Gillinor,
my fat ass is really going to have to walk all the way up to Mount Quintamortem, huh?
It'll be a tandem bicycle for you and me. The tandem bicycle. So a bicycle, and obviously, like, in my backpack of things, like Oxie said, with the camera, you have your camera bag and you have your charger and your SD cards. Like,
okay,
mine comes with at least a bike pump, like a tire pump. Just
okay, bike accessories is fair. Things to repair.
Do I get the gloves? Can I have the gloves?
It's not your outfit. God, I take so long to pick an outfit. I'd have to look fly as fuck.
no.
walking around Gillinor.
Fashionscape is everything, Oxie.
I was gonna say,
Secondly,
I say that like I wouldn't be wearing an infernal cape and an open Hawaiian t-shirt wherever I am, but whatever.
secondly, I'm going to bring, one of those little like camp shovels that you bring when you need to like dig a hole and go number 2. There are no
Mhm.
toilets in this game. There are no
There's
toilets.
There's one.
Well, I don't
There's
have
one on
time to
Fossil
find
Island.
it. I really don't have time to find it. So I'm bringing a shovel, and for any number 2 business, we're just digging a hole. I don't really care. That's my second item.
I'm shitting inside Bob's axes. I'm walking right
Rightfully
inside
so.
them. I'm shitting in that
so.
man's establishment as soon as I get to Lumbridge. It's the
Rightfully
first
so.
thing I'm doing. I'm not even killing a goblin. I'm just shitting inside that house.
My third item is a Sudoku book in case, there's nothing going on and I get bored. Maybe crossword puzzles. I don't really know. I kind of like Sudoku because I'm bad at it and it makes me think. I mean, I like an honorable mention would be like a sleeping bag because there's also not a lot of beds. But there is. I kind of corrected myself before I said it. There are beds.
Bro, I'm trying to stay at the Paramaya Inn, dog. I'm trying to get to all those inns and taverns.
Blue Moon
We're
would be the
having-
first place I go.
All right, we're going all over the place, man.
A Sudoku book? Did I say that wrong? Kami is calling me out in the recording booth chat. He said a what book? We're going to move past it. Thank you so much, Pork Jerry, for that fun question. If you guys, obviously, at any point, if you want to answer the fun question from the show, just hit us up in the Xpwaste chat. We'd love to hear your answers to the fun question. I think that's going to do it for the show. Thank you so much to everybody who've made it this far. It's truly unhinged because, listen, I can't remember the last time we recorded when it got pretty late at night. And
Yeah, we really haven't done a late. It's almost 11 o'clock for me. We haven't done a late night recording in a long time.
they usually were pretty unhinged because, like, the more tired I am, the more I channel my inner Hanani. So it used to be like this all the time, but now we're a bit professional when, you just woke up and you had the coffee and you're ready to start your day with a podcast episode. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by looking up our merch, xpwaste.shop. We have many designs there that might tickle your fancy. Neither Oxie or I are wearing it to this evening, which is quite a sad day. But
Surprising for you. I feel like I have my Xpwaste hoodie. It's actually over here on my bed. I wear that bitch everywhere, but I get so warm doing the show
same.
that I cannot wear it while I record.
Same. My beanie is from Beanie's Custom, but it's not from us. Otherwise, I would have. Oh, that reminds me. We probably could put out an Xpwaste beanie. So if there is, it's going to be summer soon in America, like in the northern hemisphere. So there's that. You don't, unless we're appealing to all the Australians, it's not beanie weather. So probably won't do it anytime soon. But in the colder months for the northern hemisphere, look out for a beanie on our shop, xpwaste.shop. You can find our Patreon, patreon.com/xpwaste. We already talked about that, but we will have some fun things on that. That reminds me of the northern hemisphere being cold. Pixie, one of our UK listeners, is trying to organize a UK Xpwaste/TNL meetup. So if you would like to get more information about that, join our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Go to the events chat, look for the message from Pixie, and currently they're trying to vote on where in the UK to have the UK meetup. So if you want to be a part of that decision-making process.
No, Michael and I almost certainly will not be there.
We will not be there. It's relatively soon. Like, they're wanting to have it in April. So I'm like, unfortunately, if this was
A little
April
bit too quick.
2024, your boy could swing it. But April 2023, no, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. But if we do have a UK meetup, it'll be a long time from now, and Oxie will be there. But this UK meetup, I think it's mostly like TNL more so than Xpwaste.
We're having a UK meetup for TNL and Xpwaste. They officially announced it on the stream. Did you not hear?
Uh-uh.
We're having a meetup for Xpwaste. And they're so excited for us to do a meetup for Xpwaste. The people at Jagax are like putting on a whole festival about it. They're like planning this big ass festival around
Did they announce
us.
RuneFest? And I missed it?
People are working on RuneFest. Announced officially in like, not just like Mod Kirby accidentally said fuck and then mentioned RuneFest by mistake. Like the heads of game development over there were like, yeah, we're working on it. Hopefully we get it back in 2023. They're working on it.
That'd be incredible. Dude.
By the way, I love Mod Kirby, by the way. I think Mod Kirby's fucking hysterical whenever I see him on the show. Because you want to talk about a man who puts so much work into his like professional, like his actual work, but does not give a shit about how he comes off on the live streams. It's fucking great. The man will get made fun of on Twitter, hold up signs, say fuck. He does not care. I love him.
Nice. Nice. 2023, Mod Kirby on Xpwaste. It's going to happen. If you're still here for some reason and you haven't clicked away from the show, thank you so much. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to support us, like I said, do all those things. If you're on Spotify, follow us. That's a metric we can track now. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of you. It's pretty awesome. If you are on Apple, drop us a rating. If you're on YouTube and you want to subscribe, that would be great too. Subscribe, like the show, like the episode, drop a comment, answer your community question, do all the things. And that's going to do it for the show, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.